What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're doing round 3 DFS Showdown targets for the 2020 RSM Classic. Craig, we host a Twitch show every Wednesday night. We go through the whole DFS field. We have lots of good kind of comments and chatter and all that. Fish of the week, we got to call him out.
We got to give him a shout out.
Give him a shout out, yeah.
Yeah, he was asking about what do we think, how many 6-6 lineups are going to make it to the weekend. And I think both of us arrived somewhere in the 5 to 10% range.
Yeah, I think I was a little higher, 8. I think you said 6 or something like that.
Yeah, he said something like he thinks, 2, maybe. I think he said 2 or 3%.
Yeah, I think he said 3%. 3.5 was the line, and we both
he was spot on.
Yeah.
So
come join us on Wednesdays. I mean, the chat is active, and it's a great way to kind of build lineups together. And
yeah, it's a good collaborative breakdown of the field and man, the other thing, we were spot on with some of the ownership. Doc Redman, Danny McCarthy. Like, if you would have avoided some of those heavy owned ones, you'd be in pretty good shape right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's jump into.
Yeah, so cut lines 3 under. It was brutal. I mean, if you got 6 of 6 in your tournament long contest through, congratulations. You're going to be cashing. I think it's closer to a 1% than 1 to 2.
Yeah, I mean, it varies tournament to tournament, but it's down there.
And then 5 out of 6 lineups are even incredibly low. They're in the 6 to 7% range.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to see 4 of 6s cash, possibly 3 of 6s with a winner. I don't know, but it was kind of a bloodbath out there. It's crazy with the guys that didn't get through.
Yeah, I mean, it also, you can't just look at the top when you're looking at showdown lineups, because most of the guys you're going to see are down there's a lot of guys down in the 6K range. So I expect Harris English and Webb Simpson to be pretty highly owned.
So speaking of showdown, we had a great round 2 on the show. Our picks were 4.33 strokes under par on average. Let's continue it on to Saturday. A lot of people will be playing Showdown because we don't have those perfect lineups through.
Well, I was feeling good about my Matthew Neesmith play being like the round of the day. And then Streb was 9 under. Who else? We had...
Oh, Damon.
Damon was 9. Yeah. And then, I forget who else. But there was a lot of low rounds out there today.
So let me just touch quickly on tee times. Tee times are now out. We record this pretty much right away after the close of round 2. But tee times are out. And again, it's a middle out tee time. So if we look at the weather over here, it's much calmer in the morning. And then the gusts pick up again in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So those guys,
I mean, both the wind and the gusts pick up. So you do want to try to get, and that's not to say, we know that people who are teeing off early will be playing in that at the tail end of their rounds, but it's just a difference of whether they have some more time out there while it's calm, and they don't have their whole rounds out there when it's gusting at peak. Yeah.
And we're at Seaside for Saturday and Sunday. No more Plantation Course. We're at Seaside for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, no more having to struggle without ShotLink data.
Yeah, exactly. All right, should we jump into it?
Yeah, let's get into
it. My first, Corey Connors, pretty nice price on DraftKings, 8,800. He had a 67 in round 1. He had a 70 in round 2. He's at 5 under right now. 10 birdies, 5 bogeys. Tied for second in greens and regulation, 86%. So historically, there we go. Historically, I think we've seen that the winners need to be really high on the greens and regulation percentage at the RSM Classic. So he's doing really well. At the Plantation Course, he was 7th in strokes gained tee to green, plus 3.12. And he is in the 3rd group out in the morning. So
that's at the Seaside,
10-12 a.m. tee time. Yeah. At the Seaside. Yes, that's right. Yeah. 3rd group out in the morning, 10-12 a.m. tee time. He should, avoid the very worst of it, but at least he'll have more holes kind of with that calmer weather than the rest of the leaders, I guess, or the leading pack.
Well, I like it. I do have a bit of FOMO with him because I didn't plug him into my week longs, and there's no reason not to. I just thought his ownership might get a little bit high because of his Masters finish. But his ball striking is always good, so I like it as a showdown play a lot. My first one here, Tyrrell Hatton, comes at 9,600. This is a bit of I think there's going to be a lot of ownership on Harris English, who's just more expensive, and then also on Webb, just because people are going to be able to afford to plug in whoever they want. So I expect Hatton will have some ownership, but I think those guys will soak up a ton. So if you do want to get away from them, I think this would be the first sort of star A-lister that I would look at. He was 69 round 1, 68 round 2. He's -5. 7 birdies, no bogeys, a single double bogey. So 36 holes in, out the way these courses have played in the wind, a single hole where you're over par, that's pretty darn good. As you were saying about Connors, GIR I think is very important here. It's probably a reason he has not made a lot of bogeys, but tied for second in GIR, and he hasn't been putting well. So we know Hatton can get hot and streaky and pour him in. So he's playing decently without putting that well. If the putter does get hot, we've seen him go low. And then just last thing. He, no matter the conditions, he's a proven ball striker in the wind. You look at a bunch of his tournaments out in Europe, but then you think back to, I was looking at the Arnold Palmer early in 2020, and he, I think he had a round where he was the only person below par, because you grow up in the UK, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the play as well. He's in Connor's group, so he's in the third group out. He has a 10-12 a.m. tee time as well, so I like that aspect of it as well. My second pick, Sepp Straka. He was kind of flirting with the cut line for a while, but he is in. He's 7,500. He had an amazing close, but his tournament so far, 71 in round 1, 65 in round 2. He's at 6 under, 10 birdies, 3 bogeys, 1 triple, which kind of sticks out from his first day there. But he's 16th in greens and regulation at just over 80%. And as I said today, he finished birdie, eagle. So really nice close to his round today to, with authority, get into the weekend. We talk about him. He's kind of one of our darlings for Showdown. He's a ball striker. When he's in the weekend, you like him to go possibly sneak up and go low. He's got the second earliest tee time. He's got a 10 o'clock tee time. So, I really like Straka at 7,500.
Yeah, basically you see sort of in the 2 rounds we've seen from him, you see the range that Sepp Straka can give you. He oftentimes will have a low round or a couple of rounds of tournament, but doesn't always have, put them all together, which is one of the reasons I always like. I oftentimes play him in tournament longs, but I also like him a lot in Showdown. Yeah. My next one here, and this is a bit of a double dip in here because I had him yesterday as a pick, and I just really like the play again for a lot of the same reasons I liked it yesterday. Joaquin Niemann, he comes in at 8,700 on DraftKings, which is cheaper than he was today after he went out and shot at 66. So he was 73, 66, -3 overall, 9 birdies, 6 bogeys, pretty straightforward.
I think he got 4 birdies in a row on his back there. Like, he had a nice close.
So that's one of the things I was going to say is that he actually, with his 66 today, he left some strokes out there though. There's a few times that he was hitting the ball right at pins and could have gone lower. But he's driving the ball very well, tied for 14th in accuracy and 9th in distance. When you're up in the top 15 in both of those, you're doing something well. Usually the guys who are shorter are the ones who are more accurate. Ball striking's awesome. Greens and regulation tied for 16th. Strokes gained tee to green, which we only have one course's data for, tied for 16th. So that's there. One of the things about Niemann too, he hits a low ball. Like, everyone always talks about how he hits a low ball. So I think he's always going to be a good player in the wind. We saw him play well at RBC Heritage, which I think is that Harbortown, I think is the course. And I think that's a great comparison in terms of the style of course that we see here. In terms of the type of player that typically does well there. So, same reason I liked him yesterday. I think I'm going to plug him into a bunch of mine again today.
Yeah, you convinced me yesterday. So I threw him in a couple lineups, and he did pretty damn good yesterday. So there's no reason not to hop right back on for Saturday. So, I agree with that for sure. My third and final pick, Alex Noren, 7,100 on DraftKings. He's actually, I mean, a lot of these guys I've been talking about improved in round 2. He kind of moved back a little bit. So 66 in round 1, 71 in round 2. He's 5 under, 9 birdies, 4 bogeys. But that 66 was at Seaside. So if he's playing the rest of the tournament at Seaside, I like that. His strokes gained when he's at Seaside was plus 2.9. Almost 3, so 11th in the field in strokes gained tee to green at plus 3 at Seaside. And then, I mean, I love this. He's the first one out tomorrow. Yeah. He's got a 9:50 a.m. tee time. He will have the best course or most calm conditions to score. So along with that 66, the early tee time, him hitting the ball well, I think it's just kind of a perfect mix for a good round, a kind of a move up the leaderboard type round.
Yeah. Now, the one thing with the early times that you're going to have to be careful with is because that cut line was so brutal today in terms of, I think it was almost exactly 65 guys that got in.
Right.
So there's not a huge pool to pick from that. I think obviously you always get the top players get heavy ownership, but I think you'll get some of these guys who are going out early. So just,
for sure,
don't stack all of them and think you're going to have a unique lineup. So that would be the one cautionary point I would make on that.
Or because there's so many people that are left out. I mean, don't be afraid to leave thousands of dollars of salary.
For sure. I think this is a day to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
My last one here, Emiliano Grillo, he comes in at 7,000 on DraftKings, which that seems cheap to me.
That seems crazy. Yeah.
So he's 66 round 1, 68 round 2. He's -8, single bogey through 36 holes. He's got an eagle and 7 birdies. As always, his ball striking is good. Tied for 16th tee to green, tied for 7th greens in regulation. So, that gives you a bit from both courses. And last thing, this is just for me, but Grillo was he was going into the tournament, he was right in that $7,200 range.
Yeah.
And there was just so many guys around there that I really liked that I had a very hard time. And he was one of the last ones that I cut from my player pool because, his approach play made him he fit the model well. Everything about him was a good play, but it was just you were choosing between. I should have just left more money on the board than I did and stacked more guys from around there because a lot of them have done well. So it might be a bit of a FOMO play that I'm oh man, I missed him tournament long. I want to get some of that, but I think either way, I think he has the potential to have a really, really good round.
He stayed in my player pool, so I do have him in tournament long contest, and I'm happy about that. But I hope. I mean, it's all good signs moving forward for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Coming up, we have round 4 showdown contest for the RSM, of course. We will release our podcast coming out on Monday, so that will be on YouTube as well as Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast.
Or if you're up really late on Sunday night, you'll get it then.
Exactly. Also, there's going to be a PGA break, so to all our American followers, have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. But European Tour will still be going on, and we're going to be doing content. So if you like the European Tour, make sure to subscribe. Play some DFS. Come join us for those.
Yeah, or if you're just a degenerate and you won't have PGA, and so you need to check out the Euro content, then we'll be doing that. So come check us out.
Exactly. All right, take care, everybody.
Good luck. See you guys next time.